Okay, right, here we are with Lee from the Funeral Portrait. Now, we've said this a few times before, but in person, in the flesh. I mean, I can't tell that by radio, but honestly...
second time, though.
Second time this year.
That's crazy. Because I remember when we were talking early on, being like, oh, one day I'll meet you, and then now we're twice in 1 year.
I know.
Very lucky.
I'm sure that one of the first times I interviewed you paused the interview because your mum was hoovering outside.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So that must date it a little bit, and things have obviously moved on because now here you are.
It is so crazy because that was in my studio at my house, right? I have like a little studio. I haven't even sat down in my studio, I think, this year but one time. Like, even because when I'm home, the last thing on earth that I want to do is work on music. So like I don't think I've literally sat in my studio but once this year, and that was just to put together our set list for this tour. So
it must be, if we recap, are you still sort of pinching yourself, I should say? You might be biting yourself. That, you know, at one stage you were chatting to foreign press from your room at home, you know, 2 or 3 years ago, was that, I suppose?
Yep, yeah.
And now here you are out touring Europe, touring the world.
Yeah, we have been on tour for 290 days this year. So by the time we get home, it's 290. My mom counted, so she had to make sure I knew how many days she was taking care of my dog for me. He's a little rascal. He's a little Pomeranian, but I love him. But as any small dog owner knows, it is a pain in our butts. No, it's been crazy. You know, like, I can't believe it that I'm here talking to you for the second time. Even, you know, and stuff like that. That's so cool for me. And I don't know, we really have enjoyed being here in Europe and the UK because it's so new and so cool, and the fans that are coming to see us are so excited because they've never seen us before, or they only saw us at Download, right? Or they discovered us at Download, you know? And so it's like so cool that we get to play a proper set, because it's like 40 minutes long too. So it's even longer than the Download set. It was like really short. So this is really cool that we get to play 40 minutes, and it's cool. It's very fun to just live this life.
Because I was going to say, talk about Download, is that we saw you there playing one of the tents at the festival, and I wonder what your reaction to it was. What I remember, I loved seeing you guys live after a long time, and then at the end of it you said, I'm going to go down the front, and if anyone wants to come and meet me, that's fine. I mean, it was like 100 metres and 5 deep. I mean, you must have been there for like longer than your set, trying to see everybody.
So I tried to be. I couldn't be there that long because the next band was getting ready to play after us. I think it was like Kitty or something was literally right after us, but it was so cool to be like, all right, so as long as I've got it. So I wait and did as many people as I could. I would do down the line, and then those people would move back down the line and move back down the line. So and that's what I do at all festivals. I did that when we were in the States this year. We played this big festival called Louder Than Life, and we got to play the main stage. And when we did that, it was really crazy because that's the biggest stage I've ever seen in my life. And there was just, it was so many people. I luckily had close to an hour to get it done, and I got it done. I met probably like 3,000 people, and I just was like, okay, get your phone out, let's take a selfie. Okay, get your phone out, take a selfie. And it was like crazy. We graduated with the fever, so full of confidence and ready to achieve. But it's just a fallacy. Yeah, 7 years a true believer. You wake up choking with the pill on your face. Every breath made a race. Are the Funeral Portrait a big band in the States? I mean, I suppose sometimes you tend to think, well, if you're over here, then you must have conquered the States. But sometimes people go abroad to conquer territories before returning. I mean, you know, the thing is over in the States, we've kind of overweight our welcome, right? Because like we've been touring there nonstop for the past few years, and now it's like, okay, well, we're built up as big as we can there at this step. For us, it was like, okay, well, we need to start, you know, going overseas and going to different places that we cannot, you know, because we can't just keep touring the States. If you just keep touring, even or over here, like we can't just keep touring Europe, because eventually people stop coming because they've either seen the same show over and over again, or 2, it's just they don't have the money to, or 3, it's like, okay, I've seen them 7 times this year, you know, which we are very lucky that our fans will see us 7 times in a year, and then when we put out tickets for the next tour or the next show, they get tickets. Because, you know, we've built that fandom and that thing, and for us, I don't say that we're like a big band in the US, but we're big enough, you know. How I weigh it is we are big enough to now none of us have to have a job when we're home, that we can rely on this band to pay our bills. Now, that's not $1 million in the bank account, but what it is it's enough to live our lives as if we were like a grocery store clerk or something.
Never getting out of here. They say just settle down. You're never getting out of this place. Welcome to Suffocate City. We're never getting out, never getting out of here. They say just settle down. You're never getting out of this place. Welcome to Suffocate City. You think you've had enough, but boy, it's just the half of it. That's when they pull the plug. You're never getting out of this place. Welcome to Suffocate City.
Is that part of getting over here, being part of Better Noise label? I think I was just speaking to Larry from Rasmus, and Better Noise, I don't know what they're like for a label as a musician, but I played like 85% of what they sent me because I just, everything, I love Better Noise.
Well,
but
I think that's how we met, right?
Yes.
It was through that, you know, and it's one of those things that it was kind of because this label has done everything for us, and they still are. Literally right before I talked to you, I talked to our A&R about working on some new music that we need to do for next year. You know, because again, if we didn't do that song with the Rasmus, we wouldn't be here on tour with the Rasmus, right? So it was one of those things that it was like, and every single night I get to go up there and play it with them and everything. It's been so much fun. And for us, I don't know, it's just been so cool to do this. I mean, download, right? Like they got us the download slot, you know, that was a whole bit, you know, and they helped us fund to go over there and do all that stuff. This label cares so much about us and wants us to be the next quote big thing or a band that makes them at least a little bit of money. So for that, you know, we're so thankful, and it's so cool, and it's working, you know, and it's growing little by little, and that's all that really matters.
I sat and watched TV for 2 days. I think my mom is gonna miss me. Can't say that I've been doing well. Therapy told me Jesus loves me more than I love myself.
At the moment, Greetings from Suffocate City has come out as a deluxe edition with brand new tracks on it, and live tracks and things like that. Was it Evergreen as a single that came off that? Where did that come from? Why wasn't that on the original one?
Because it wasn't written.
It wasn't written?
Yeah.
Is that a taste of the sort of music to come?
A little bit. There will be a little bit of that, and then there'll be a little bit of the older rocky stuff. I don't know. There'll be a little bit of everything on this next one. I think, you know, we have probably about like 6 or 7 songs demoed out for the next record. You know, to have a full record, you need at least 10. But I think I want to, what I really want to do is I want to have about like 20 to 30 ideas. And then I want to take those 20 to 30 ideas and then narrow them down to the best songs and what fits the mold of what this record is and what this record's about, you know. So I'm very excited to see where it goes, though.
And is that, going back to record labels, I mean, sometimes you hear record labels that make you write 40 songs in order to pick 12 that you want. Is that something that you will have to do, or are
something I want to do? The reason why is because I like that process, because I'm very indecisive, and I don't want to just be like, well, let's just write 12 songs and that's it. Because almost all of your favorite bands and all these other bands that when they are put in that box of you only have to write 12 songs and that's it, all my favorite records are the records that were written as 40 songs, you know, and then they pick the best ones, you know, and I think that's sometimes the better option.
I woke up choking on my vomit. I couldn't clean it out the carpet. Oh yeah, anxiety's real. Maybe I could drink to death before all my friends. And all I've learned is there's a truth that's not worth lying for. Heaven ain't no place worth dying for. Love is all that you'll ever need to keep your sadness evergreen. Bite your tongue so you don't say you're sorry. All that God has ever felt is lonely. Love is all that you'll ever need to keep your sadness evergreen. No.
Now that I've seen you guys live, I feel I should ask you this: the kiss on stage. Now, I see you get a lot of criticism for that, and I put it out there that I don't care whether you're gay, whether you're straight, whether you're Christian, whether you're satanic, whether you're all girl or all boy.
Yeah.
Do you play good music? Yes. therefore I like you. But you do get criticism.
We did every so often, but not that much anymore, because I think it's just more, people see it as a bit as well, right? And it's not, there's no religion in it, there's no politics in it, it's more just what it is, and so, it's been funny because we don't do it every show nowadays. It's more of like a special occasion. And I love that, because now it's turned into like a special bit, so, but it's been fun. It's been really fun to just be able to be ourselves, but that's how this band worked, is as soon as we were ourselves, as soon as we were who we are, stuff started working for us. People liked us because we were us, and they felt like they belonged. So it was really nice.
And that's sort of the ethos of the Funeral Portrait, isn't it? It's your writing about your dark thoughts, about being different, being outcast, and being proud of it. I mean, presumably that's very important.
Well, and that's important, and that's what's going to continue. I think that's something about this band is, I was just talking to our A&R literally right before I talked to you, and with her, I was just like, I don't want to change much about what we're doing. I don't want that. I don't want it to be a 360 change of what this band sounds like or acts like or is like. I said, I want it to evolve. I said, that's what I want. I want to take a next step up. And even that comes in the style of the production and higher quality sound and better drums used and, better microphones, all that, rather than going and maybe working with different people. It's more about just evolving rather than a change. Because I feel like we are still in the developmental stage of our band, because we aren't that big, right? Because I've seen it where some of my favorite bands release some of my favorite records, right? And then the next record comes out and you're like, why did you do that? Like, why, instead of being like, there's just a different way to do it.
Here's to the kid in the crowd who curses the clique so devout. Of their idols of gold, a secondhand shirt on your back, religiously covered in black. Your soul could never be sold.
We talked about this before, but this feels like, and to a certain extent, it is a debut album for you guys, because in this iteration, in what you do. But there are 2 other albums out there, aren't they?
Yes.
So, but they are part of your evolution.
Yes, and that's part of it too, right? But we don't really play any stuff off of it. Every once in a while we'll play Casanova, which is like the first song that we like really did well for us, and stuff like that from many years ago. But it's just a different band now, different members, different style, different attitude, different everything. And the only reason why I'm the same person that I was back then that I am now, but now I get to like fully be myself, because that's important to me. And that's with writing the new music and working on the new stuff. I'm very excited to see where we can take this to the next step.
Perfect, easy, perfect to me. I'd rather go down with the freaks than feast with the kids. Stay with, don't ever fake it. Don't let them take out your heart. Oh, stay with, so what they hate you. Their world can't contain who you are.
You're on tour with Rasmus at the moment. How has that tour gone? Because it's been all over Europe, hasn't it, before it came
Yes, yeah. So we started in Germany and did like 8 shows in Germany, which were like crazy. They were all sold out. We played like Italy, we played France, we played, oh my God, you name it, we played it, It was really cool.
And obviously we're now aware of you here in the UK. Are people aware of you in Europe, or are they behind the UK?
I think Germany, it's so funny because if you look on our Spotify, the second biggest country is Germany. But it was so funny because I got messages from a lot of our fans. They weren't able to buy tickets to the shows because the Rasmus announced this tour without support at first. And so tickets for the Germany shows, all sold out before we were ever announced. Okay. So there was a lot of fans that were like, oh, I couldn't get tickets to this show. And I was like, we had some that bought like resale or, if their friend couldn't go or something like that. But that was kind of it. Because those shows were still kind of they were like all like probably 1,000 cap venues, you know, when they probably could have been 2,000 cap venues, if not bigger, some of them, you know. And so, but it was really cool to still experience it, you know, and we've gained so many new fans on this tour. But the UK, definitely, I mean, every single night it's been, I discovered you guys at Download, or, oh, I saw you guys at Download and I'm seeing you here, or, oh my God, this is my first time seeing you. I've loved your band for 10 years, you know, stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so cool. And I think there's just this thing with the UK and our band. I think it's weird. It almost feels the same as playing in the States, as in people acknowledging us and people being like as hyped about us playing. I don't know how tonight's going to be. I don't really know. I know the show's sold out, so that'll be fun. Maybe, I think they said there's 10 tickets left at the door, so I'm sure 10 people will walk up. You never know. But it's one of those things that it's so cool to be playing so many new places. And I think that's so cool for us because we've been a band for so long that we've played the same cities over and over again. I cannot tell you how many times we have played in Madison, Wisconsin. You know, you would never expect a band to play Madison, Wisconsin more than 10 times, but we have. And it's like, it's just one of those things that it's like, you know, we're just excited to be here. It's so new, it's so fun.
Can't drink, can't drug, can't drown them away. Can't sleep, can't think, can't find an escape from these dark, dark thoughts in my mind. Can't drink, can't drug, can't drown them away. Can't sleep, can't think, can't find an escape from these dark, dark thoughts in my mind.
So when are we going to get a chance to see you come back playing longer dates? With some production, we talked about things like that. Is that something we're going to see?
We're hoping to do some production. I know that we'll be back in June because we're doing a bunch of festivals. We're not doing Download, but we're doing a bunch of other ones. We're trying to fully put together what we're doing still for next year. We might come back twice. And I don't know if in June we'll have the budget really to do production, but if what is being talked about, which I cannot spill the beans, about for December, late November next year, literally a year from now, we'll definitely have production. So, yes.
A bit of a teaser.
Yes. So, and if that doesn't happen then it'll happen in 27.
There's a heavy on this mind. There's a weight behind these eyes. What if I can't stop the rising tide?
Will that then coincide with new music? When are we going to start seeing new music?
You're going to start hearing new music sooner than later. As soon as we get home, we've got about a week and a half off just to decompress, not talk to each other, not pick up our phones. And then we're going to go and start writing and recording new music. So spend all of basically December. Well, it's probably about a week in December that we'll be able to spend writing and recording some new stuff. And then January, we're going to be writing some music as well. And then we do a lot of crazy stuff in January. We're doing our big hometown show, which we're going to play the record in full, which will be super fun. And then we get to do Shiprocked, which is like a cruise where you get to play on the cruise. It's super fun. Cool. And then in February, we're going to do some more writing. And then April and May, we're going to go record the record. So yeah, the actual record in April and May. So I'll disappear probably. So I'll probably turn off my phone. So because I don't know. I think I really want to dive. I want to this is such a big moment. I think April and May needs to be the big moment of just being like, I don't want outside distractions. Like it's just going to be time to do the next record. So very excited.
So the next record will hopefully see the light of day in fall, autumn?
Yeah, that's, I think, the plan. I don't fully know. I know songs are going to start coming out even before we're done with the record.
So if it wasn't an exciting enough time in the Funeral Portrait, it will be soon.
Well, it will be. And that's the thing is, like, we're not stopping because in January our live record comes out, which is more for like the super fans, right? And people that were at the live show taping last November and stuff like that. Like, we just wanted to do something fun. And, a lot of bands don't do live records or DVDs anymore. So it's been nice.
Excellent. It's lovely to catch it again in the flesh.
Yes, in the flesh.
And again, hopefully it sounds like this will become a twice a year annual event.
I'm so in.
weeks.
I'll see you in June.
Can't drug, can't run away, can't sleep, can't think, can't find an escape from these dark, dark thoughts. These dark, dark thoughts.